What's up, everybody? This is Jose from Southern Life. Welcome to the rural town of Labelle, out here in the 863. It's a nice little country town. There's not a lot of work out here. Most people here are going to commute into Naples or Fort Myers. There's not too much going on out here, but it's a nice rural community, kind of country. I actually wanted to move out here. When I lived in Naples, I wanted to switch things up and end up in the countryside. I wanted to end up out here, but it never really worked out. So we ended up not doing that. But I looked in this town extensively. I had realtors. I had the whole thing going. I was really looking into this town, but it didn't work out. And it's okay. I've got some friends out here as well in this town. My people out here left and right, so it's a great area. This county is like 40% Hispanic. It's the second most Hispanic county in Florida, other than Miami. Beautiful town, great country people, just down-to-earth people. I don't have any complaints about this place. Crime's a little high, and there's a few rough neighborhoods, but overall it's a great town with great people. And it's a great place to retire if you just want to be in Southwest Florida, but you don't want to be within the mess of traffic and all that. Like, this is good for somebody who's like maybe not commuting every day. If you're just kind of retired or working from home, or not exactly a fun drive in the Fort Myers or Naples for work. It's basically at the intersection of 29 and 80. So you're about 30 minutes from the outskirts of Fort Myers. I don't really have anything bad to say about this town, man. And a lot of our subscribers moved to this town, so we've helped a lot. We've helped more than a handful of people land here in this town. So shout outs to all those people, and I hope you're enjoying your Labelle experience. Just a country little town, good country people, hard-working folks. There's poverty, but there's still great people out here. It's definitely not a rich place, and again, there's not even a lot of work out here to begin with. There's not even that much work out here, but there's hard-working people. And a lot of people here, they'll commute all the way to Naples. They'll commute all the way to Fort Myers. Just kind of a slower paced life. There's a lot of Mexican restaurants here. Lots of Mexican restaurants, a lot of Mon Cuban restaurants. It's grown a lot too. This area has definitely gotten bigger. If you go south right here, you take a right, you would end up in Immokalee. If you head north, you go into Sebring. If you head west, you go into Fort Myers. You head east, you go into Clewiston and Palm Beach County. So it's kind of like South Central Florida almost, but it's still Southwest Florida. I think this is still considered Southwest Florida. Now, it's just kind of like a very country little town, but over the years, look at the big ATVs on that. Yeah, buddy. Mira, ese no es una nueva. What? New gas station. Nice, bro. I ain't even seen that. Alright, so there's something new in Labelle. And then out here you got Port Labelle. There's a lot of historical homes if you go to the right into those city blocks. It's growing and changing. There still isn't a Publix out here. I think when they get a Publix and a Starbucks, I'll move in. That's what I said in the last video. It's a great little community. It's got rough neighborhoods, so if you're gonna move in here, make sure you end up in a newer area where they're building new houses, not like in an older neighborhood, mobile homes and stuff. Then you get the whole package. I like it, man. You guys been asking me about my sister, and yes, she is a realtor. And if you need her phone number, it's 239-248-4793. Susana Rodriguez. She's my big sister, and she's a realtor, and she's been helping a lot of our subscribers for the longest time ever. we've had people asking me, Jose, do you know a realtor? And I've been saying no, no, no. And it got to the point where, like, last year, I had, like, almost on a weekly basis, somebody asking me if I knew a realtor. And I started sending people to realtors, and I was like, yo, you know, this, you know, and Katie's like, okay, I'm going to study to get my real estate license. So Katie starts to study to get her real estate license. And there's a Walmart heading the other way. The biggest store they have is a Walmart. So here's Port Labelle, which is kind of like a little rural area outside of it. Great fishing out here. The Caloosahatchee River's to the left. We're paralleling that right now, and there's lots of creeks, canals, and the snook and the tarpon actually run up into these freshwater areas. So you can actually catch saltwater fish 100 miles in, or 50, 60 miles inland, believe it or not, on the big canals. And on rare occasions, they'll even find their way into big lakes like this. So my sister became a realtor because she wanted to buy her own house, and she was just tired of dealing with realtors. Like, all the realtors were like, you know, she was gonna finance, and the realtors were like, well, if you don't have cash money, I don't want to deal with you. Or, you know, if you know, they were just, she didn't like the realtors that she kept finding. So she was like, you know what, these realtors, she didn't like them. It's like they weren't really giving her what she needed. So she actually got her real estate license to buy her own home. So she actually got her license to buy her own home because she just got tired of dealing with the realtors that were out there, and she didn't like what she was seeing. So she's like, you know, I didn't like it. So she got her license just to, you know, which is weird because everybody gets their real estate license, and once they have it, then they think they're better than everybody. You know, they think they're some hotshot or something. I know great realtors too, don't get me wrong. I know some incredible realtors. Great dedicated people. But now there's so much, there was for a while so many buyers that a lot of the realtors are just like, even recently, like, I had a subscriber recently tell me, hey, I want to buy a house, but, you know, like, the realtor doesn't want to deal with me because it's a small commission. Like, my sister even sells a lot of lots, and the commission on an empty lot, it's not a whole lot. You're not talking thousands of dollars, you're talking hundreds at most, you know? And she likes, one of her favorite things to do is to buy and sell lots for people. It's a nice, simple transaction, and a lot of realtors don't want to mess with it. They want to go for they all want to sell the $1 million houses, and then, like, they don't really want to help the small transaction, you know? They think it's not worth it. They'd rather chase after the $1 million house. So, interesting. And Katie's about 70, my wife Katie is about 70% done with her second real estate course. Now, she flopped the first course, and I was like, hold on, it's not a big deal. If it was easy to be a realtor, everybody would be one. So, but she took her, we were home for 2 weeks when she got sick, and during her COVID, she took her test. With COVID, like, sick as a dog, she took her real estate test, which I was like, don't do it. Like, I left the house one day, she's like, I'm taking my test. I'm like, Katie, you're sick as a dog, man. You don't need to be taking the real estate test. So she took it, and she failed it by like a few points. So she got so angry at the fact that she almost passed it and didn't, that she went ahead and she took the second test as well, and that was the end of that. I think if she had just not had COVID and studied for like a week or two more, she'd have passed it. But that course was in Spanish, and they translated it into English, so there were so many grammatical errors on that course. It was crazy. But now the course she's got on now is much better. In fact, I've noticed she's made more progress and learned more with the new course she's taking. Recommended to us by a realtor out of Port St. Lucie. So we have a subscriber that's a realtor in Port St. Lucie. I think his name is Eric. He's there in the comment section. No association, I'm just saying. He's there in the comment section sometimes during our live streams, and he recommended a course to Katie. And this course that he recommended, it's top notch. She's learned more. I think 2 days ago I was at home. She was taking a test. She's about like 75, almost 80% done with the course, something like that at this point. I'm sitting at home. She took a test, and she get her results, and she squeals like a pig. She's like, "Ah!" And I was like, what happened to Katie? She's like, I got 100 on my test. I was like, all right. And it was one of the chapters that is a little bit, you get to some chapters like mortgages and understanding contracts. Some chapters are smooth. When you get to that part of the real estate test, it gets a little more complicated. Big farms out here, big houses way back in the woods, just kind of more land out here. You'll notice here there's a 8-foot fence, 8-foot fence on both sides of the road. That is because this is a hot spot for Florida panthers. The big pumas of Florida panther. So whenever you see these 8-foot fences, it means there's been so many black bears or panthers crossing through this stretch of protected wilderness that they put up these fences to just kind of deter the animals from going on the road. So the fact that they put up this fence here would indicate lots of Florida panthers, black bears coming through here. So they do this to kind of deter it a little bit, and it's not a 100% deterrent, but it helps. And you can see there's a little bridge underneath here, and this bridge also has a fence. So this bridge, there's a little creek, but it also helps animals get underneath and cross the road without having to go on the road. Once you leave Labelle, in all directions, other than the driving, I guess in all directions, especially heading east, north, and southwest of Labelle, it's Florida. I mean, look at this: palm trees, open road, big oak trees, just natural Florida at its finest. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Lots of wild hog out here. Lots of turkey, lots of deer. Just the real Florida, man. Look at this. Empty highway. We're heading eastbound towards West Palm Beach right now. And, we're towing the locks right here. Great fishing spot. You can fish it on the north side or the south side. If I remember, the north side's a little bit better for access. On the south side's kind of hard. But there's a pier on the south side. When the water's running good, there's snook through there. There's tarpon. Great fishing. Largemouth bass. This is the real Florida, beautiful Labelle. And if you keep going a little further, there's a few rural communities like Montura Ranch, Ladica, but these areas are less attractive to live. They're just kind of out in the middle of nowhere. But as you can see, open road, beautiful Florida. What else could you want? Little rural town of Labelle. Great place, great people. Few opportunities for employment though. Checking out from Labelle, Florida. Ya tú sabes. Saludos mi gente.